to be the best version of myself and to help me have a healthy mind, have healthy relationships with my friends and family, and as well be physically healthy. So stay tuned, I'm going to share some really awesome tips for you guys. I'm going to be uploading every single Monday, and it's either going to be something about fitness, fashion, or healthy living. So stay tuned and keep on watching. Alrighty, so tip number 1 is to get into nature as much as possible. I learned this back in 2011 when I moved to British Columbia, where I actually live now. But at the time I was living in Ottawa, and I lived in a really busy city. It was a big grind, lots of hustle, and I lived in the suburbs at the time. And I didn't realize how much that had such an impact on my mental health until I got out of it and was able to live in the mountains. And I swear to this day, that changed my life 100%. I was never religious, but I feel like when I'm in nature, like that is my spirituality, and I feel connected to the earth, and it helps me connect with others when I'm in nature as well. So it's really good for your brain. It helps calm your nerves. It brings out happiness. You know, if you aren't somebody who has any kind of spirituality or faith, I feel like nature's a really good place to start. So it can be anything from lying in the grass. You can go for a walk. Like, I'm blessed to live in Victoria, BC now, where I can just easily go swimming in the ocean or go hiking. But if you are in a big city, like, go find a local park and just go hang out there for 10 minutes, 5 minutes. I found that I don't always want to go out into nature. Like, sometimes I'm just lazy, like that's just the reality. But I've never gone for a walk or gone for a hike and then regretted it after. I've always felt better. So I recommend, if you can, if you live in a big city, just try to go for a walk around the block, and I promise you that's going to help your mental health, and you're also get a physical benefit because you're moving your body. But also, like, even when I'm paddleboarding with my sister, she says, Sid, you're your most true self when you're out on the water, and I didn't really put 2 and 2 together for a long time, but I feel like you're your most authentic self when you're out in nature. So that's my personal experience with it, but I hope you try that. Tomorrow, start your day and make a commitment to enjoy the beautiful scenery. Okay, so tip number 2 is do something that scares you every day. Now, this can mean something different to everybody because we all have different fears. I learned this actually from my naturopath when I was going through a really, really hard time with high anxiety, and she said, Sid, do something that scares you. Face your fear in the face, because the magic happens when you're outside of your comfort zone and doing something that you have to have courage to do. So some examples of this could be to call a lost old friend and somebody that you really miss, or maybe you guys have a bit of a falling out and try to reconnect with that person. Or it could be maybe walking up to a stranger and asking them how their day is, or if there's somebody sitting on a bench alone and going to talk to them, or going up to a girl or guy that you're interested in and telling them how you feel. I know Brene Brown talks about the power of vulnerability, and I listened to that TED Talks, and I highly recommend going to check that out. But just being vulnerable day to day is going to help you. So you can do something that scares you every day and do something that makes you comforted every day. So try to have that balance every day. You know, when I was going through my high bouts of anxiety, some things that even scared me was simple things like telling somebody that you're not in a good place. Like, that can scare you. I'm very proud. I don't like to admit when I'm in a bad spot, but once I expressed that I was in a bad place, that gave it less power and I was less afraid, if that makes sense. Find also, this is going to help calm your anxiety, because this thing that you fear no longer has power. You've now done it. So actually, one really cool thing that I did is, I'm actually terrified of snakes, and I wanted to do some exposure therapy, so I would have nightmares about them often. I grew up petrified of them, and I'm actually still like quite scared of them, but I don't have the terrible nightmares like I used to. Like, I'd be stuck in a room with a bunch of snakes around me and I couldn't get out of the room, and they'd be slithering around me. So my friend owned a snake, and his name was Charles, and he's super cute and he was really calm. And she had me over, and I was able just to touch the snake. Like, that was massive for me, just to even touch it. And I touched it once and I freaked out, my whole body drew away, and then I went back and I touched it again and I gave it a pet. But I found that now I actually don't have nightmares about it. Like, I don't want to be chilling with a snake, but it doesn't hold as much power as it did. That's a pretty extreme example. So overall, it's going to help calm your anxiety, making something that's super scary less scary. It's going to help give you confidence and strength and improve your life overall. So hopefully you find that helpful. I recommend, doing it every day. So let's go on to tip. Alrighty, so tip number 3 is to limit alcohol, coffee and any other substance abuse, like smoking or recreational drugs, obviously. But I kind of want to narrow in on alcohol and coffee because I feel like those are the two most socially acceptable. There's something that I've abused in my past. The majority of the population does abuse. But 2 years ago, I did a 1 year sobriety, or almost a year of sobriety, and that changed my life like no other. It helped me aid in massive weight loss. It actually improved my relationships, even though I lost some friendships because they were around alcohol. I've kind of realized who my true friends were and who were just my drinking buddies. I also quit coffee completely last year. I'm just gonna state the obvious. Alcohol is a depressant. It makes you gain weight. It makes you do stupid things, say stupid stuff. I'm definitely like one of those people. I'm very sassy when I'm drinking, and I'm often like, oh, why did you say that? Why did you do that? So, you know, I do still have a drink here and there, and that's fine, but I know if you want to live to the best version of yourself, then I definitely recommend reducing it. So what does that look like? So maybe just having a couple drinks on the weekend, or maybe try doing a month of no drinking and see what happens. Like, I'm really focused on physical and mental health. Like, I want to feel my best. Like, I want to get the most out of this life, and so I found that alcohol just doesn't get me there. Maybe also another thing is to like sort out like why you drink. Is it because everybody else is? Does it make you less socially awkward? Like, what is the reason why you're drinking? And sometimes it's to cover something up or to take you away from your busy day. And if it becomes something that you rely on to better yourself, then like maybe it's time to rethink why you're drinking and sort out that one particular reason and try to heal that without alcohol. Your body will look different, your appearance will look different, and you'll feel amazing. So definitely recommend. Let's go on to coffee. So coffee is a hard one. Most people who drink coffee abuse it, you know? Like, I was drinking, like, I'm not even kidding, I was drinking 4 to 5 cups a day. Like, I would have coffee at 5 in the afternoon. Like, talk to any of my workmates and they know that I would go to Filippi, this little French bakery next door, and buy a $5 mini coffee every time I worked, and I would do that like once or twice. Like, I really depended on it, and I would crash super hard, my jaw was clenching, I wasn't sleeping really well, and eventually my nerves were shot, my adrenal glands just gave up. But I quit cold turkey, had a sip, and I was like, yeah, to hell with this, like, we're done with it, I can't drink this, like, I need some calm in my life. And I barely have caffeine, like, I'll have a little bit of Earl Grey, but I switched to tea completely, and I'm not gonna lie, it was the worst 2 weeks I ever had. Like, withdrawals like no other. Like, I had a headache, I was fatigued, foggy, I couldn't work. So if you do come off of it, it's like a hard drug. Like, wean off of it. Or if you go cold turkey, just like make sure you're not around anybody, kind of like crazy, and stay home because you're gonna have a massive headache. But that goes to show how bad it is for you. So I've noticed that like my dehydration has gotten better. I don't wake up with a dry mouth every morning. My nerves and my energy is more neutral. It's just nice not to have to spend a ton of money on it. Like, that's another thing. Like, alcohol and coffee are expensive. It's just a single serve, like, super expensive. So you actually save quite a bit of money, so your financial health is benefits. But that's just something that really positively impacted my life. So there's no pressure for you guys to do that, but I'm just sharing what helped for me. Okay, so let's go on to our next tip. Okay, so tip number 4, try to listen to a podcast or read a book every day. So guys, I want you to learn every single day. For me, the type of podcasts that I listen to are stuff that's gonna help improve my physical health, my mental well-being, anything that can just really improve my overall health and wellness is really what I'm interested in. So some podcasts that I listen to are Super Soul, The Health Code, Joe Rogan, of course, like, he's #1 in the charts, like, let's be real. But I really like the ones where he talks about like fitness and health and his boxing and diets and that kind of stuff. Like, I'm really intrigued in it. But when I started to listen to a podcast every day, my life changed. I'm easily influenced by others. I can easily just go watch a vlog of somebody on YouTube, completely inspired by what they're doing. If that person's like going for a run that morning or tried out new fitness gear, I'm actually really intrigued by it, and I usually will go try and do that. So I find it helps just give you ideas, give you reminders. And we all know these things. It's common sense, but I find that when you're constantly feeding your brain, it becomes a habit in yourself. So, and it's actually quite contagious. Like, people's happiness and people's energy, some of their habits I find are contagious for myself. So I recommend on the way to work, listen to a podcast. It's gonna help change the tone for the rest of the day. So that's why I started this channel, is because I was extremely influenced by other people in the health and fitness field. I have been watching YouTube for 6 or 7 years now, and a lot of the things that I follow are health and fitness, and you know, watching some of those people's channels like Whitney Simmons or Sarah's Day or like Megan Grubb, all of these awesome girls who are just sharing their fitness tips, what they eat. It has positively impacted my life. I feel like I'm a different person. So I've always just really valued the simple reminders from other people that I choose to surround myself with. So go find some podcasts, go find some YouTubers. Like hopefully I can be that person for you. That's all I want. I just want to help be contagious with my energy and with my lifestyle, and hopefully positively impact the people around. Okay, so tip number 5 is to try to express yourself through creativity. Back when I was in massage school and I was living in a really unhealthy situation, the house I was living in, lots of people were partying and doing drugs every day, and it was a really dark time in my life. I didn't feel safe there, I didn't feel comfortable. My one release was to create art. I never tried painting before, I never tried drawing. I always just assumed that I couldn't do that. I actually became like quite a good artist, to be honest, and I never knew I had that talent. You know, like doing something expressive with your makeup or your fashion, or creating a beautiful dish for dinner. Just try to be creative. It gives you a sense of pride, it helps your well-being, it calms the anxiety, it improves depression. There's so many benefits to expressing your creativity. I sometimes get super frustrated when I'm getting creative because things go wrong. My creativity is making videos, and like I've definitely had a couple meltdowns already. But when the finished product is there, I have an immense sense of pride, and I feel a sense of purpose. It just makes you overall way more unique and interesting. Those are my 5 healthy tips. They're not common tips that you'd hear from everybody. Like I just wanted to share some unique tips that I found that aren't quite obvious to everybody. Stay tuned to my next video. Like I said earlier, I post every Monday. Please give me a subscribe and a like down below, because that does help my channel grow. And I will see you guys in the next video. Stay healthy, stay happy, and goodbye. Woo! She did it!